You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday evening. I'm Ken Bufa. Suffolk's top prosecutor is taking the lead in the trial of accused Gilgo beach killer Rex Heuermann. Now, in a story you saw first in Newsday, District Attorney Ray Tierney announced he will prosecute the case himself. This will be the first time he will personally handle a case since he took office last January. Rex Heuermann of Massapequa Park was charged with the murder of 3 women and has pleaded not guilty. He's due back in court on Tuesday. And right now, police patrols have been put into place around Heuermann's home. Village workers have also added signs in front of the house saying no stopping or standing anytime. Now, for the latest on the Gilgo developments, head over to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Restaurateur Harendra Singh is going to prison. Today, a judge sentenced him to 4 years for his involvement in the Ed and Linda Mangano corruption cases. Newsday TV's Macy Eglin was in court.
Harendra Singh sentenced to 4 years behind bars for the 8 federal corruption-related charges against him. He spoke in court, begging the judge for leniency, saying, quote, "I destroyed my reputation, my businesses, and my character. I am deeply sorry."
Today is a tough day for everybody. We are disappointed with the sentence. Not shocked, but disappointed.
The restaurateur pled guilty back in 2016 as part of a cooperation agreement, admitting he repeatedly bribed former Nassau County Executive Ed Mangano and his wife Linda with gifts, vacations, and more, all in exchange for contracts with the town of Oyster Bay, $20 million in indirect loan guarantees. Singh was facing up to 17 years in prison, but the judge credited him for his cooperation with federal prosecutors. He became a key witness and took the stand for days during the Mangano trials.
Mr. Singh, in my view, has provided unprecedented cooperation that we truly thought would merit no further jail.
U.S. District Judge Joan Azraq saying, quote, "The culture of corruption in Nassau County led to this day, and that Singh's cooperation against the Manganos was his saving grace."
She's made a very profound statement to the public that that's how these cases are going to be dealt with a strong hand.
Singh admitted to bribing other town officials as well, including former Deputy Town Attorney Frederick May. He was sentenced today to 2 years for accepting bribes from Singh. May and Singh are both scheduled to surrender on January 24th. Singh's attorney says he will get credit for the 8 months he's already served. Reporting for Newsday TV in Central Islip, I'm Macy Eglin.
An 8-year-old is recovering after being struck by a bullet in his own home. Police say around 1 this morning on Cedar Lane in Medford, a bullet grazed the boy's side after several shots were fired from the street. The 8-year-old's sister told Newsday the boy was with his 11-year-old cousin at the time.
And I saw them there playing on the PlayStation. That's why they were allowed to sleep in the living room, because my brother put his PlayStation there and they just wanted to stay up and play. That's all they were doing. And they ended up falling asleep, and that's when everything just went down.
The sister says the boy will be home from the hospital today. Police are asking anyone with information on the shooting to call Suffolk Crime Stoppers at 1-800-220-TIPS. And a state appeals court was upheld the conviction of a Holbrook man found guilty of driving drunk and killing a Boy Scout. Thomas Murphy argued in an appeal there was misconduct by prosecutors, but his appeal was rejected. The 62-year-old was convicted of driving drunk into a group of Boy Scouts walking on the side of the road in Manorville in 2018. 7th grader Andrew McMorris was killed. 2 other teens were hurt. The Suffolk DA called it a senseless and tragic death. Hunter Biden's plea deal on tax charges has fallen through. Instead, he pled not guilty today in federal court. The president's son is accused of failing to pay taxes on more than $1.5 million. The original plea deal was put on hold after the judge expressed concern over the language in the agreement. And at least 6 people were injured by a crane collapse in the city. The crane caught fire and partially collapsed in the west side of Manhattan this morning. FDNY officials say 2 firefighters and 4 others were injured.
As you see from the debris on the street, this could have been much worse. We are extremely fortunate. Number one, that we were not during the busy time of the day.
crane was carrying 16 tons of concrete when authorities say the engine compartment caught fire 45 stories up. And Giants training camp kicked off today, and star running back Saquon Barkley suited up for practice. NewsdayTV's Kim Jones shows us what happened on the field.
Well, hello there from New York Giants training camp, day one. Yes, Saquon Barkley was on the field with his teammates. He didn't talk to the media today. I expect that to happen perhaps tomorrow or the next day, but fairly soon. But Barkley was a full participant, doing everything the Giants asked and needed him to do. One of them, of course, was that great catch. The fans absolutely loved it. The star player of this camp on day one, though, was tight end Darren Waller. He caught everything thrown to him by Daniel Jones. Waller was matched up at times with Xavier McKinney, the Giants safety. McKinney said after the practice, Waller, is going to be a problem. And McKinney, of course, meant for opponents. It was a good start to training camp for the Giants. It's only going to get hotter, literally and figuratively, from here. For Newsday TV, I'm Kim Jones.
All right, let's take a look at your Long Island weather, shall we, for today and, of course, tomorrow. So tonight you can see we have 74 degrees and mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, though, it's going to be quite warm. Taking a look at the temps across the island, you can see that Great Neck is really feeling the heat at 93 degrees.
Long Island weather is brought to you by the Canine Center.
Long Islanders struggling to cope with the rising cost of living, finding affordable housing, and keeping food on the table. NewsdayTV's Macy Eglin reports in our new series, Feeling the Squeeze.
Long Islanders feeling the squeeze, trying to make ends meet as income struggles to keep up with inflation.
What used to be middle-class families, you know what I mean, maybe 3-4 years ago, making $80,000 are now considered, low income, especially on Long Island.
The cost of living, a problem for people of all walks of life, from feeling forced out of the East End by the rich.
The issue is we can't make it there anymore, and people are literally being pushed out of their homes.
To finding affordable housing that's still too much for a one-income household.
The bills are there, but the income is not. Sometimes I don't know how I'm gonna make it.
And young Long Islanders unable to afford independence and living at home well into their 30s.
You want to save, you try to save, it's not enough, something else comes up, so it's like kind of rolling with the punches. It's hard. I don't see it getting easier.
Newsday is exploring the issue and hearing from members of our community, doing everything they can to stay afloat. From working 2 jobs, commuting hours a day, and saving wherever they can, Long Islanders are feeling the squeeze.
Sometimes it's really hard, but I'm trying. I really am. I cry so many times.
The people you just saw say they all have a powerful story to tell about how they're struggling to meet ends meet. During our special week-long series, Macy will introduce you to each and every one of them. You can read more about their stories on Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say, install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
It's known as the best feast in the East. The Feast of St. Rocco kicks off tonight in Glen Cove. And we're talking to the nonas behind the famous food. Beth Whitehouse has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Here at the Church of St. Rocco in Glen Cove, Operation Meatball is underway. The Italian grandmothers from the church are preparing thousands of meatballs in preparation for the Feast of St. Rocco, also known as the best feast in the East.
The Feast of St. Rocco is a gathering. It is a religious event that incorporates the community, and it's about faith, family, fun, and of course food.
What's the secret to a great meatball, a great Italian meatball?
can't tell. That's
Oh, God. You can't tell? Is it a secret?
A lot of practice.
The ice cream scoop. Show us what goes in the meatballs.
So these are seasoned breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Which is, I set them up. This is the pecorino romano.
Okay. Cheese.
And that's the parsley. Black pepper. Garlic powder. Then you have the regular garlic that we added on for extra flavor.
So how many meatballs will that recipe make?
That's 30 pounds of chopped meat.
30 pounds.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing today, 30 pounds.
30 pounds at a time. We're doing 800 pounds to 900 pounds.
Today?
Yes.
When you're finished, how many meatballs will that make?
About 6,000 meatballs.
And how long will it take to sell out for this?
Oh, we'll sell it out quick. And that's
Yeah?
no problem at all. That's,
Wow.
I don't have enough.
I'm gonna test it right now. How do you say delicious in Italian?
And they look really good. Now, to read more about the St. Rocco's Nonas on Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. From covering the Piano Man to playing with him, he's a key member of Billy Joel's band, and you may have seen him on one of the many small stages across Long Island. Elisa DiStefano sat down with Mike Del Judas in a story you'll see only in Newsday.
So happy to have you here at Newsday's Studio 2.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Miller Place native Mike Del Judas has performed on the world's biggest stages alongside Billy Joel and has sold out shows with his band here at home.
My blondie girl.
He came to our headquarters to talk about his new music.
Doing my own stuff is something that it's been long overdue. I'm looking forward to the rest of my career of being, doing nice seated venues like this. This venue has just been amazing.
You always ease my worry.
Mike has already released Mona Lisa with some help from a famous friend.
I had some good opportunities that have come up, obviously, through the Billy thing, but, working with Kevin and getting to write the theme song for Kevin Can Wait.
Kevin James.
Kevin James, yes.
So past the complication, it seems so easy.
And then a new single that's going to be out on the new album called Mona Lisa. We did a video. Kevin loved it. He shot a video. We went out to Citi Field. It's been exciting.
And he already has quite a following and a fan base for his originals.
Hey there, son, let me talk to you.
We had Live on the Porch, which was a show I did on Facebook, and everyone took a liking to it, and that was specifically geared toward original music. I'm a very literal writer. I'm writing about myself, I'm putting myself out there. It's vulnerability to no end. Some songs are kind of rock, some songs are folky, some songs are poppy, but they're all literal good stories,
You're still on the road with Billy and at the Garden with Billy Joel. So when is it Mike time? Like, when do you have the time and the bandwidth and the creativity to do this?
Finding that time is really hard. For me, it's putting as much emphasis now on that as I have on the other things. And everything that's happened up to this point, these are all things that wouldn't have happened without all those great experiences with Billy.
Is this what we believe?
Can't wait to see what's to come.
Yeah, me too.
For Newsday TV, Elisa DiStefano.
Now you can read more about Mike Del Judas and watch his Newsday live performance streaming now on Newsday.com. Just click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffer. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.